I grew up in Boring, Oregon. It's a small little farm town back home, about 45 minutes outside of Portland, Oregon. My first baseball game was when I was 4 years old. Started playing t-ball, and that's when I learned how to throw the baseball. Started getting into it, and then it was game over from there. I always wanted to go to Oregon State when I was growing up, just because both my parents went there. So I grew up just watching them every single time, watching every game, going to football games, baseball games, and just loved the atmosphere down there. So that's where I always wanted to go. Well, out of high school, I didn't have one college looking at me. I had no recruits. I won pitcher of the year. I was the Oregonian baseball player of the year in high school. I was the conference pitcher of the year. Won the state title. Had the lowest ERA in the state. Didn't have one college looking at me, so I went to a junior college, and that's where I got all my looks at me. I had Oregon State, North Dakota State, Bellevue University, Washington, just countless numbers. I think I had like 8 or 9 schools talking to me at one time. So when the first time I got noticed that Oregon State was going to be at one of my games watching, I was just ecstatic. I was like, no way, I need to put on, need to do what I need to do. And it was just a good feeling to know that I put in all that work, and now they're finally here to watch it happen and see if I can't get there. Going into my season, I was about 5 weeks in, and I was throwing really well, and they were coming to my games that week, and suffered my first torn UCL, popped it, and then after that, Oregon State was the first school to call me and say, hey, heard about your injury, good luck in the future. And that devastated me, because I was like, okay, well, there goes the dream school I wanted to go to. They dropped me. All right, there it is. And then sure enough, 2 weeks go by. I get 9 phone calls, all going the same way. Every offer dropped off the table. So I went from having 8 opportunities going to go somewhere across the country, play baseball, all dropped, all in the same day, all same 2 weeks. I was honestly lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had pretty much everything lined up in front of me. Like, I was going to Division I school, worked all the way up there, and then everything just shattered right in front of me. And I was just like, it was like the room was dark and I couldn't see anything. As soon as I felt the pop when it happened, I didn't know what to do. Like, everything just went numb, and I was just lost. Well, I broke down. It didn't really hit me until after the 2 weeks I got all the phone calls and everything like that. And then I just sat there in my room by myself and just was thinking and broke down. Didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And then from there on, I was just like, you know what, I got to come back. I got to prove it, because I just have that drive. I gotta come back. I can't let it knock me down. So try to work myself all the way back up. When I was looking for a place to play, after I rehabbed all the way back, it took me about 18 months to finally come back and be able to throw the baseball again. And I started talking to 2 schools. There was only 2 schools in the country that wanted to talk to me. And that was Bellevue University in Nebraska, and then here, because I knew Nate Hunter. And I was going on a recruit visit to Bellevue. They flew me out there, gave me all the recruit and everything like that. And Nate's like, drive on down here and I'll see if I can't get you something out here. It's like, all right. Talked to the coaches, and then threw a bullpen and haven't looked back since.
We do have contact up in the northwest part of the country. And so anytime you bring kids from over there, it's always going to be sometimes a challenge, but not always what you expect, because they come from far away. And so when they come to the Midwest, I think after a while, the players up there, Carson included, I think like it. And so I don't think he's been any different, so it's been great having him.
Anytime that you get like a recruit coming in that you hear good things about, and whether it's due to personal circumstances or injuries, they end up coming here instead of someplace better they could have gone, you always feel a little bit lucky to have somebody like that on your team. And so hearing that he was coming here and the potential that he had, I think we all were really excited about what he could bring to the team. So
my first season back, I was excited. I was just glad to be back on the baseball field, ready to come back and start doing what I love to do again. And it started off really great. Everything was going well. I was throwing well. We were winning. And then, sure enough, my elbow starts flaring up again. And then, sure enough, 5th week into the season, again, tore my UCL for the 2nd time.
When he got injured last year, it was kind of a shock. I mean, we didn't anticipate it, and so us losing him at the front end of the year really played a part in our staff being a little bit deficient throughout the course of the year. So,
well, the second time it happened, it was still like the same thing. I was like, well, there it goes. Like, I'm gonna try to come back from it again, just because I don't have any quit in me. I knew I couldn't let my family down, because I've always had one dream, that was to get drafted, make it to the bigs, and do that. But after all these injuries kept happening, I was like, kept getting down, but I just kept pushing through and had to keep coming back.
You know, he's had so many opportunities that have been taken away from him because of his injuries, and you know, the fact that he still will do the rehab, do the work that necessary in order to get back to playing, whatever that means. Whether that means instead of playing D1, he's playing D2 baseball, and instead of starting, he's closing now. So you know, he's doing whatever it takes, even though I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for him. You know,
coming back, so I shut down from there, got a PRP shot in my elbow, tried to solve the tear problem in there, and then somehow during my rehab process and doing that, I got 2 tears in my shoulder and my labrum and rotator cuff. They were just partial tears, nothing too big, so I had to shut down again, get 2 more PRP shots in my shoulder, then rehab those all the way back to get back to where I'm at now.
Losing not just him as a pitcher, but him as a competitor last year was a big blow for us. So that's why we want to make sure down the stretch that he's as healthy as we possibly can get him, especially towards the postseason, and that'll be a big factor for us in how well we play down the stretch.
Definitely not 100%, but coming back into this season, I was just excited to come back, and after sitting out for so long, watching everybody go through the grind and do all that, and I'm just sitting on the sidelines, it really just fires your belly up once you get back out there and get going. It's just good to be back. Good to be back throwing. I mean, this is probably my last season here, last season of baseball. Just giving it everything I've got, because I don't know how much more my shoulder and elbow can take, but I'm going to go until it falls off. It's just a good story to go along, and I'll have something to tell about for the rest of my life.